thought, come to think of it, sister, rumors spread extraordinarily fast as well. The fact that she was a demonic human, and that she protected the prince with her powers. Second prince always takes a defensive stance, and builds a wall against all the external pressure he has faced so far. Yet, this time, he is acting as if he has no intention of hiding his presence any longer, as if he wants to let the world know second prince is protecting his sister. Alter stated, this is a letter that was addressed to him specifically. Calyx thought, why would Prince send him a letter? Then, after some time, Calyx told Rosalind, there was an order for her to return to the White Knights. It will be a long journey back to the capital, and he will be accompanying her. In the next scene, Cecil stated she hopes Rosalind has a safe and easy journey. She has a feeling they will be deeply involved somehow. Then she threw a flying kiss, and Rosalind also threw a flying kiss. Calyx thought, don't learn things like that, sister. Then, after some time, Calyx thought it was sunny earlier today. This region's weather seems to be quite fickle. He then asked if something is the matter. Rosalind replied no. Calyx thought she said no, but she has been unstable for a while now. Then he said it would be dangerous to keep riding on, so they have to rest for some time. Rosalind thought memories rushing in. The sound of rainfall, the darkness that shadowed the moon, the shadow that lurks beyond the flames. That person that attacked Rosalind might not be an outsider. What she witnessed, that thing, is inside the palace. In the royal palace, the witch in the jail stated, yes, finally, it's time for the curtains to open for the banquet. That will be the end of those disgusting Ilbenia idiots. Back at the cave, Rosalind thought about its identity and the objective for its presence that night. She must discover it. After hearing the story, Calyx replied, the person that killed his sister is inside the palace. How could this happen to his sister? Rosalind asked if he is all right. Calyx thought about this warmth, as he expected. He didn't know when it started, but little by little, his sister is recovering her memories. In that case, the shock from that day might be crystal clear to her, as if it happened yesterday. Calyx asked if she was afraid that day. Rosalind said her heart was beating uncontrollably. Calyx asked if it hurt terribly. Rosalind replied that her back was bleeding profusely from the slash along with her broken bones. Macaron stated, no. Rosalind continued, but it didn't hurt that much. The next day, Calyx thought she is finally settling down now that the rain has stopped. He thinks he should head back later today. Suddenly, a person came with a bucket of apples and stated they taste good. Calyx thought about their overly confident attitude and the way they are speaking down to him. He then stated, Miss Macaron. Macaron replied, consider that as payment for borrowing his clothes. Then, after some time, Calyx asked if she remembers what her sister said yesterday. He is not sure if that person is aware that his sister is a different existence from before, but as long as he remains in the palace, she is in the most danger. They might try to kill her again since she came back alive. Macaron replied that's going to be difficult. Calyx thought about her confident demeanor and then asked, but wouldn't it be best to eliminate the threat? He knows his sister will be wary of what she remembered, but he will not be able to act accordingly depending on the situation. So, please watch out for her. If she happens to find out who that person is, please inform him. Macaron asked to inform him, and mentioned that she doesn't like the way he is asking. Calyx pleaded, please, beg of her. Macaron replied, well, it doesn't really matter to her if that person kills another human or not, but that thing is quite lacking, so whoever touches her will not face a pretty death. Let her tell him something. Since he isn't aware, Rosalind may not look like much, but her demonic powers are pretty incredible, so rest assured, she is not going to go down that easily. Calyx asked if she is even more powerful than her. Macaron replied, more than her, no. Out of all existence, including her, that possesses demonic powers, she is the most powerful. In the next scene, the second prince stated to Calyx, as he knows from the letter, the reason he called him today is because he wants to hear from Rosalind directly from him. Eberhard and Leticia welcomed Rosalind, expressing their gladness that she seemed all right. While she was away, Rosalind attacked them. Leticia stated to clean her empty room, and Eberhard spoke while waiting for her. Rosalind thought the two of them seemed to be doing pretty well, and then she stated they have become quite good. On the other hand, the prince asked about her appetite. Calix replied that she eats so well that every restaurant they go to, the chef comes out to greet her. Then Prince asked if she likes beef or pork. Calix replied that if it's meat, she likes everything, but she prefers grilled beef and marinated pork. After providing all the details, the prince stated that she had served him for 7 years, yet he is ashamed to say he knows very little about her. Then the prince spoke, mentioning that apparently, Rosalind is preferred as the incarnation of Korean Tidanian near the kingdom of Hilisago. Though it is a deified image, and he doesn't think they mean anything by it, they should be wary of such rumors. He instructed Isirian to make sure Chloe puts an end to this. Calix thought this is how he categorized the information up to now, and it's much too overwhelming for his sister. He wondered why the prince goes to such lengths for his sister. The prince stated that it's great that he wants to be on guard, but that he should do it properly. If a hunting dog is truly a hunting dog if it cannot tell apart who is a friend or foe. He added that he didn't mean anything bad by it, and mentioned his habit of making the elders from the first prince's side upset. Calix thought he is crossing the line from the start. And the prince told him that he would like him to pick a side instead of just being on guard, even if both of them were placed in unfavorable positions toward each other. Yesterday's enemy may become a friend today. Calix thought about the prince wanting him to pick a side. He had no idea what his father was thinking to begin with or the red wheelbarrow, which he didn't even have possession of yet. The first prince and the emperor, none of them would become his sister's allies. Besides, he did not wish to keep watching his sister from behind. He chose to be with her until the end. Calix was on his knees and then stated, Calix Esther of the red wheelbarrow, hereby pledges a night oath to the laurel tree in the snowfield. Both of them were shocked. Calix spoke, expressing certainty that the prince wouldn't ask him to revoke the holy oath, as he had no intention of becoming a member of the White Knight Order. He explained that he took the oath to prove his sincerity, and the reason he would not be joining the White Knights was that he could not be limited to using physical strength alone. Calix aimed to hold the greatest power as the successor of the red wheelbarrow, and promised to assist the prince from that position. Prince thought that both siblings were causing him migraines. Calix continued, stating that the decision not to join the White Knights was nothing unexpected. He was not impressed by the prince's character but rather because his sister could not let go of him. Prince expressed his desire to set aside a day to explain how awful it feels to be offered a one-sided sacrifice from siblings. But first, he appointed Calix of the red wheelbarrow as a knight of the laurel tree in the snow, with the title Ricardus Dariu I Labenia. Calix asked if the prince trusted him, to which the prince replied that he knew the stifling stubbornness of the red wheelbarrows, and that above all, Calix treasured his sister more than anything in this world. It wasn't a matter of trust, but rather the fear of those who have lost something precious to them. In the next scene, Chloe informed them about a civil war in the kingdom of Lagoche, a piece of information concealed very well. She wondered how Prince Hakabe managed to seduce those crazy in love, with the downfall of the current potentate Flotor. Prince expressed his desire for the civil war to continue in their favor, and then stated that Chloe will leaving. He suggested she should at least see his fiancé's face, knowing that Sir Raymond would be happy to see her. Chloe responded, acknowledging Raymond's busy schedule. Isirian asked if the prince wasn't going to inquire about what Sir Calix said. The prince replied that the person who attacked Calix was dangerous in many ways. If they pieced together what Calix said, both Rosalind, who returned, and the person who killed her are shadows. The only predictable thing about this situation is that they are both unpredictable. It's hard to tell whether they are allies or enemies right now. On the other hand, Duke asked why Calix was in the capital. Calix replied that he came to the royal palace to pay a visit to the second prince, as he had requested his presence. Moreover, his sister was feeling unwell. Duke asked if he was referring to his sister right now. Calix asked his father if he knew about that, then thought that he might have figured something out, since he explained that his sister was a demonic human. In order to suppress those rumors, even though he might not know that she is a shadow. Duke spoke, stating that he thought Calix had finally gotten out of his sister's influence, but didn't think Calix would be foolish enough to follow that to the Moonstone Palace. Calix stated that he is finally taking his first step out of the red wheelbarrow cradle, and asked if his father was proud of him. Duke replied that Calix should not be putting the red wheelbarrow in danger, and his sole responsibility is to protect their family. Calix spoke, expressing his belief that his father is aware that the first prince poses the greatest threat to the kingdom right now. Being incompetent and greedy, he questioned if that was the path his father is choosing to take. Duke replied that the first prince is a threat that can be contained, but Prince Ricardes cannot become the emperor. In the past, the emperor was angry with his son, questioning why holy powers are so important in this generation. He asked if he should kill the prince, stating that if they dare to take his throne, they should be eliminated. Duke thought it would go against his family's will to trample on the talent that would lead them in the future. The emperor is not enraged by the prince. He merely wants to stay on the throne. Duke replied, suggesting finding a child born with immense holy powers, likely from a commoner family. They must ensure they have enough time for education, at least 2 or 3 years. The name Ricardes would do, as it's the name of the emperor who had a grand regime. Since their roots are rotten, they should at least rely on the dignity of their name to step foot in the palace. It would be best to find a family that will serve as their parents, such as Viscount Winter Pomegranate's estate. If it's for the family, she should accept it without question. Duke thought she just found out such a huge matter of importance. What a horrific way to handle things, but the cards have already been dealt. They must leave everything else to fate. This sacrifice of a few for the greater good is something that occurs regularly, and is necessary from time to time. Something the red wheelbarrow had to do for the peace of Ilebenia. But that belief soon turned into the greatest regret. She shouted that the prince killed her child, demanding to bring back her little girl. 178 days after the princess's death, Queen Milia drowned in a lake. Nobody knows whether it was suicide or if she took a wrong step, while walking around with such a frail body. Then, the second prince told the count that if it were not for him, Elpidio would have died, which is why the count sought him out. At that time, Count was silent. The second prince stated, "This is really incredible. God gives things without asking and then takes them away." Prince asked if he recalled the first day Count met him, mentioning that holy powers exclusively belonged to the royal palace, so the powers he possessed were also guided by God. As it was destined for him to come to the royal palace, this was his fate. Now, back in the present, Rosalind thought, these are the flowers Calix gave her. In the next scene, she entered the prince's office, and Prince opened his eyes. Rosalind stated, "This is for your highness." Prince thought, is he dreaming? No, this is not a dream. Prince smelled the flowers and thought of spring, then remembered the queen saying, until the spring comes, he must wait, no matter what. Prince thought about what he had been waiting for this whole time, and then stated, Rosalind, he miss her. Prince thought, what a beautiful flower. Noticing that it was strangely wilted with damaged petals, he guessed that she had gathered the flower the gardener wanted to toss out. Rosalind stated, Your Highness, he is beautiful. Prince replied, Thank you. Then thought that since he hadn't seen her in a while, and noticed dirt from gathering the flowers, he didn't want to make it sound like he was making fun of her by saying, she looked pretty. Prince stated, her eyes seem sharper than before, they are wonderful. He thought if that was all he could muster up. Then Isirian came, and Prince noted that Rosalind still had a leaf in her hair. Isirian remarked, Your Highness, he knew Prince always preferred to take the thorny path. He then thought information from Sir Calix, stating that the being with the appearance of Rosalind was an unfathomable mysterious entity, the root of demonic energy that had been alive for eons. Prince surprised Isirian by how willingly he accepted this information, and he seemed to like her more. Now Prince is completely at ease. Like this video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.